Did you know that Beyoncé Giselle Knowles, born on September 4, 1981 in Houston, Texas, wasn't just born into an ordinary family? Now, when we talk about Beyoncé, we're delving into a tale of a musical dynasty. Her story begins with her parents, Celestine Tina Knowles, a hairdresser and salon owner, and Matthew Knowles, a Xerox sales manager. While they may have had seemingly ordinary jobs, the extraordinary was yet to come. Beyoncé's roots run deep, with a diverse heritage that saw Tina as a Louisiana Creole and Matthew as African American. Her maternal grandparents, Loomis Beyoncé and Agnes Darion, were French-speaking Louisiana Creoles, with roots in New Iberia. This rich cultural background infused Beyoncé's life with a unique blend of traditions and values, shaping the artist we all know and love today. But the Knowles family's musical legacy didn't stop at Beyoncé. Her younger sister, Solange Knowles, also made waves in the music industry. Not only is Solange an accomplished singer, but she also served as a backup dancer for Destiny's Child, the R&B girl group that propelled Beyoncé to fame. The Knowles sisters made history as the first sisters to have both had #1 solo albums, a testament to their shared talent and determination, no doubt. Now let's not forget that Beyoncé wasn't just born with
a little girl with a big attitude and a big dream. Off to a concert that would change everything.
Oh, yeah, you going to a Michael Jackson concert?
Was he? The magic began with Girl Time.
Each of us, should we try and stay, or should we run away? Or would it be better just to let things be? Oh, living here in this brand new world might be hard than to see, but it taught me so hard, oh yes.
She got on that stage, and it was like a different Beyoncé. And I looked at Tina, and Tina looked at me and was like, is that Beyoncé? I can't believe that's her.
It's just amazing, you know, seeing this. My voice is like, la la la. Beyonce's was like, oh la 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 la.
Sing everywhere.
Girl, some more.
Reach out to you.
You were alright just on that. With all the children, you were kind of soft, but you were doing good.
It was really amazing to see her as such a young child teaching other kids how to sing.
They were singing I was like, stop. I don't really care if Teresa sings. And they did just that.
The children of the world reach out. I stayed away too long. Did I lose your mind when I was gone?
Every great group has a person that drives it. You know, the Jackson 5 had Michael. That day, it was like, okay, she's the one.
I want to be where you are.
Beyoncé got right in my face, and she sang, and she moved her head. It was like, whoa, I think this kid has got it.
Anywhere you are.
It was clear that Beyoncé was destined for more than just a normal life. She was destined for the stage, for the spotlight, and ultimately, for greatness.
Please don't make it hard to know if we should believe the things that we see. Each of us, should we try and say, oh, should we run away, or would it be better just to think, let things be, oh, living here, if this brand new world might be heaven to see. But you taught me to love, oh yes, so it's real, it's so real, it's real. Tell me the love that people see inside my heart to find a world full of love.
While it may be easy to see Beyoncé as the global superstar she is today, it's important to remember her roots. To understand her journey, we need to start where it all began. In a family of ordinary people with extraordinary dreams, in the heart of Houston, Texas. Even from a young age, it seems that Beyoncé was destined for greatness. And greatness she indeed achieved. But that, my friends, is a story for another scene. Before she became the solo powerhouse we know today, Beyoncé first rose to fame as a member of the R&B girl.
It feels so good to be home. I can't wait to go get in my bed and see my grandmother.
We caught up with the girls during a rare stop on their tour, Houston. It's home to Latavia, Beyoncé, Kelly, and LaToya, all friends since elementary school, and now the stars of Destiny's Child.
Is this your mama's Latavia?
Just last year, these girls were going to Houston high schools and performing around town. A record company scout caught one of those performances.
She saw us perform. She flew us up to Columbia Records, and we did a showcase for everybody at Columbia, and we got signed 2.5 weeks later.
And #1 on the Billboard chart.
Since then, it's been a world of airports, limousines, music videos, live performances, and of course, constant rehearsal. The girls wrote several of the songs on their debut album. Beyoncé produced the group's first single, No, 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 in Japan. While most 16-year-olds are scheduling weekend dates, these young women are scheduled to tour Europe and Asia. And while the four are very industry savvy, they also remain grounded.
I give all praises to God. We had a dream, and we just kept believing in ourselves and kept asking God to help us see it through.
Like, there goes Mariah Carey. So we were like, she goes, hi. We were like, hi.
The girls share a sisterly love for each other. They say at this point in their very young lives, they are doing exactly what they've always dreamed of, performing.
When I was young, really young, I used to perform on the fireplace all the time with my mom's high heel shoes on.
The girls' parents all play a role. Latavia's mother, Cheryl, is their chaperone. Beyoncé's father is their manager.
We knew that they were supportive, but...
In the late 90s, the world was introduced to Destiny's Child, a group of 3 talented young women from Houston, Texas. Beyoncé Knowles, Kelly Rowland, and Michelle Williams were the faces of the group that would soon become one of the best-selling girl groups of all time. Destiny's Child was a force to be reckoned with, combining powerful vocals, dynamic performances, and a keen sense of style that set them apart from other groups of the era. Their self-titled debut album, released in 1998, was a commercial success, But it was their second album, The Writings on the Wall, that truly catapulted them to stardom. With hit singles like Bills, 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 Jumpin' Jumpin', and the iconic Say My Name, Destiny's Child became a household name. Their music was a blend of R&B, hip-hop, and pop that was both catchy and empowering, with lyrics that often spoke of independence and self-respect. The group's third album, Survivor, released in 2001, was another massive success.
The Survivor series, we're trying to see which member is going to end up at the last on the island, which one is going to get voted off. It was a joke. But it was actually cute, and it inspired me to write a song. And I was like, you know, we can use that negative thing and turn it into a positive thing and do a whole Survivor video and laugh at them and make a fool out of them. And that's what we did. And at the same time, it's a positive song, and it's something that we can relate to, and something that a lot of people can relate to. Not only people, you know, that's been through things in groups, but surviving cancer and AIDS and racism and all the different things that happen in life.
Great video. Off the hook. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I mean, watching the making of it kind of thing, was it difficult for you guys to shoot this video?
It was. They definitely made sure that we were survivors. We gonna sing about it and talk about it.
They wanted to test us.
They wanted to test us. The water was so cold. We made it look like it was just hot outside. I know when Beyonce went out first, it was like 40 degrees, and to our understanding, it was the coldest day in LA history. So it was very, very cold, but the video turned out excellent. Darren Grant did a spectacular job, Darren. So, I mean, it was just a video full of strength and power, just as well as the song. We made sure that it was survivor-based. Made sure of that.
Cool. Did anything funny happen on the set, like any mishaps or?
There were so many funny things that happened.
Besides the fact that we were sitting up there shaking and freezing.
Can I tell? Can I tell?
Go ahead, girl.
Go ahead.
Since we had so many water scenes, we had wigs that were styled exactly like our hair. So you can't tell the difference between when it's our hair or when it's the wigs, because we didn't have time in between the set because we had so many different scenes to dry our hair and blow dry it again, curl it again. So whenever we had water scenes, we put the wigs on. Anyway, we had the helicopter scene. The helicopter comes close, and Kelly's wig flies completely off of her head. And we're running. They think we're running away from the helicopter because the sand is beating us. But we're running after her wig like, wah! And I said, my wig! It was so funny. It was.
But you would never tell. You could never tell because her hair was like
right
that
up
of the
under
wig.
there.
So,
And every time we watch the video, when we see that scene, it just cracks you up because all you see is just picture Kelly running
after
and
her wig.
running after that wig.
And I was like, hold on, there's some extra air coming in from somewhere. So
That's great. So let's talk about this album that everybody's like waiting for. I mean, what should people expect? What's the whole vibe of that album?
Destiny's Child's new album, Survivor, definitely shows our growth as far as a group, as far as vocally, mentally, spiritually, everything. You could just tell that we've grown so much. And it's so cool because I got the opportunity of writing and producing actually every song on the album. And with me writing and producing, I made sure everybody sang lead on every song, which is so cool because these ladies are so talented. And it really shows Destiny's Child as a whole. And I just can't wait for everybody to hear it. It's all about being positive, having self-esteem. Anybody that has low self-esteem or any kind of issues, you listen to the song, it makes you feel powerful. It makes you feel like an independent woman. It makes you feel like a survivor. Even if you're a man, you still won't like this album. The beats are still hard. Yeah. They still have the Destiny's Child dance grooves. Right. But we're talking about something on this album. We have everything from molestation. We're talking about a young girl who got molested. It was inspired from a fan letter. To
Feeling Bootylicious.
Feeling Bootylicious, which is our second single. You know, and it talks about not looking like the magazines and, you know, being bootylicious and feeling proud and still sexy when you go out. So
I also think the great thing about this album is the fact that it's personal. Since Beyonce got a chance to write and produce, everyone can relate to the album. And I know a lot of fans come up to us and they're like, oh, well, gosh, we've been through this with Bills and we've been through this with Say My Name. And now to come back with it with this album, they're like, oh, my gosh, y'all have been through everything. With Survivor, to the songs that she just mentioned, including the cover song that we did from the Bee Gees, Emotions, which we're very excited about. I know at first we were like, oh, gosh, you know, it's kind of a little stressful doing a cover song because if you don't do it as good, then you shouldn't do it at all. So we put our heart and our soul into it, and Beyonce did an excellent job when it came to producing the vocals. And, you know, we'll let everybody else see how they like it.
What was it about that song that, you know, made you guys want to do this on the Bee Gees song?
Well, it was our manager's idea to do the Bee Gees remake, and like I said, we were like, okay, we don't know about that, but it all turned out really cool, so we were happy with the outcome.
We've heard that they've heard it, and we've heard that they are very happy that we did it. So hopefully we're able to actually maybe sing the song with them or do something we
so hot.
Love.
It will be so
yes.
Would you girls, first of all, introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Beyonce.
Hello, I'm Michelle. And we're Destiny's Child.
I heard you girls started off rapping. Is that true?
Yeah, originally we sang and rapped and danced. So, but singing was something that we really, really loved doing. Rapping was just in style back then, so we did it.
But you girls played with Dazzy FX, right?
Yes, we opened up for Daz Effects, SWV, and a lot of other people.
But that's hardcore, right?
Yeah, that was hardcore. But we were young. It was at like Expos in Houston, Texas. So it wasn't like a hard rap crowd. It was people of all ages.
Right. But Beyonce just shot a movie with MTV. It's entitled Carmen, and she is Carmen, and she got a little taste of rapping on there too.
It's a hip opera. It's a mix between hip hop, music, and opera. So it's me and Mos Def and Wyclef Jean and Rod Digger and a lot of hip hop artists, Bow Wow, The Brat, JD, and we're singing and rapping back and forth. So it's really a cool thing.
Hey, for all those who don't know yet, what's Carmen about? It's an opera, right?
Carmen is an opera. Dorothy Dandridge was in Carmen Jones, and there have been different versions of it. It was based on the opera, and it's basically a very dramatic love story that ends in a tragedy.
It's about the lady. Everybody loves the lady, but she doesn't give the love back, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You're playing Carmen?
Yes, but I'm not like Carmen.
She's so not like Carmen. I remember when she first got thrown, she was like, that's not me, that's not me. But it's really incredible how you're a true actress when you can turn yourself into the character. And she cried in the movie, and she did an incredible job.
But I think I softened Carmen a little bit. I didn't want to be too harsh. Some of the script was like just wrong. I was like, no, man, that's too wrong. They're gonna hate her. We have to change a couple of these lines. So she's a little softer.
Hey, Mos Def is in the movie as well?
Yes, he is.
So how was that, playing with him?
It was wonderful. He's a great actor.
And you're rapping there as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm rapping back and forth between Wyclef and me, and a lot of Mekhi Phifer raps in it. So it was weird because I had to rap, and I haven't done that since I was a little kid.
Hey, and there's another thing a lot of people want to know about the split ups. Why did band actually split up?
Why did we split up?
Yeah.
We never split up. We replaced.
Why do men split up?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
We never split up. We just basically replaced two members with one member. And it was basically just in God's plan. Yeah. For whatever reasons, it happened, and it happened for a good reason because the group has improved so much. We get along a lot better. The songs are a lot better. Our magic on stage is a lot better. We sing a lot better. Everybody gets to sing lead now because everybody can sing lead. So it's just really a blessing. More importantly, we're happy. So Destiny's Child is solid now. We have the new album coming out, and we are survivors.
In Cairo, she lives in Amsterdam, and she has a question. Do your girls by any chance like small, well-built, bald, tattooed guys called Boris?
Who?
Boris.
Boris?
Boris.
What's that?
A guy named Boris who is bald head. She's trying to ask us, do we like somebody named Boris that she's describing?
Yeah. Oh, he's short, bald-headed, well-built, and tattooed. Yeah. Sounds pretty bootylicious to me.
Yeah.
Talking about bootylicious, there's a new album coming up, right?
Yes, it's called Survivor, and Bootylicious is one of our singles. It's actually our second single, and it's a really cool song. I think it's going to start a new sound in music. It's refreshing because it doesn't sound like anything else now. It's real funky, and it just makes you feel like you want to dance.
Yeah.
It's a Bee Gees cover?
No, Emotions is a Bee Gees cover. Bootylicious was written and produced by myself, Beyonce, no. And actually the whole album was, besides the Emotion song, which is a cover song, which the Bee Gees originally did, and it turned out wonderful. We hope everyone likes it. We hope the Bee Gees like it.
You produced parts of the album yourself?
All of the album.
I produced all of the vocals and arranged all the vocals and wrote all the lyrics, and yeah.
One thing that strikes me about your music, and it's always different. A lot of people copying you now. You work with great producers. Yes. It must be hard to produce yourself now, right?
Well, I actually wrote and produced Independent Woman, and I wrote and produced Jumpin' Jumpin', and I produced and wrote a lot of the other songs. I co-wrote on Say My Name, on all of the songs, basically.
On the wall, last album.
But this album, I realized that we really didn't need to pay everybody all of that money when we could do it ourselves and save our.
You girls are from Houston, right?
Yes,
that's not like a normal place to conquer America, let alone the world.
It's the third biggest city in America.
Yes.
People do not know that.
It's a big place too, Texas.
Yes, it's a big city.
But it's not a music city, right?
Well, not for R&B music, for country, yes, it's huge.
And rap.
The Dixie Chicks come from Texas. Almost everybody comes from Texas. But for us, for female R&B, it was hard. That's why it took us so long to get a record deal. But it happened for a reason, because we weren't ready when we thought we were. When we were up there rapping in our big baggy clothes, it was not time for us to be out. And that's what took us so long. God was preparing us for when it was time for us to be out.
I was wondering, what sort of music do you girls like yourselves?
I just heard Boyz II Men's last album today, and I think it's very nice.
Yes.
Which album was that?
Boyz II Men's last album. Which one was it?
Nathan,
what is it called?
Sean, Wanya, and Michael.
The most recent one.
Yeah.
Nathan, Sean, Wanya, and Michael. It's their names. So it was hot.
Hey, your music is different as far as I'm concerned. You can always tell immediately if there's a new Destiny's Child song on the radio. You do it on purpose, right?
Yes, we always try to find something fresh and new. But at the same time, we try to keep our own sound and establish our own sound, which I think this album, we definitely did it. We did it on the Writings on the Wall, but now, if we came back with the Writings on the Wall sound, then we would sound like everybody else, because now everybody else sound like the Writings on the Wall. So we had to go to the next level, and Survivor has definitely taken us to the next level. And I think everybody that liked the Writings on the Wall will love this. It's different. I don't think there's another album out like it right now.
Does it go further production-wise than your previous albums?
Yes. I mean, for one, everybody sings lead on every song. So it's more about the group. We do everything from jazz scatting to like Jamaican breakdowns to opera arias to everything. It's just really creative, and it's just, we took risks. We did whatever we felt like. We didn't have any rule book. Anything we wanted to say or do, we did it, because we didn't have anybody stopping us. It was just us in the studio having us a good time and making music, and you can definitely hear the camaraderie between us in the album and in the studio.
The title, Survivor, does it like reflect the period you girls been through? So, is it a rough world you're living in?
No, actually, we have a song on the album. It's called Happy Face, and it says how the world's not so bad after all. Right. It's all how you live and all how you look at things and the choices you make. And if you wake up every morning with a positive attitude and you look at the beauty within everything, like in this room, there's a lot of beauty going on. Right. And if you are really sad and negative, then you will see all the flaws. But if you open your mind and you listen like to the rain right now and all the beautiful things, it makes.
Okay, so another question by Kim. Suppose you girls could be a fly for one day. Who would you spy upon and why?
Spy? First of all, I don't think I would spy on anybody because so many people try to spy on us. And you know how it feels like to have your privacy invaded. Although if I had a boyfriend, then and I got like a little hint that I thought he was playing on me or something like that, then I'd probably spy on him. Possibly.
You would spy though, right?
Yeah, I would spy. How did you figure that I would spy?
You told me.
Oh, okay. I would spy on this one guy because I just want to know, sometimes guys play games. A lot of times, you don't know how they really feel. I just want to hear his conversation with him and a bunch of guys in the room. You know how y'all talk. I just want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
How do you talk?
Dutch.
Yeah, good cover. Really good cover. Yeah.
Hey, another question. Suppose you could be an animal for one day. What would you pick?
An animal? Oh, that's hard.
I know what I'd be. A whale.
Why?
I love whales.
Why's that?
I love whales since I was a little girl.
She wants to touch one day.
Hey, you girls got an NAACP award, right? Can you tell us what that is? Because, a lot of people in Holland don't know what it is.
It is an award for Black people and people of color. And it is an honor because we are people of color, and for us to be appreciated by our fellow race is wonderful.
Especially for our image.
And especially for our image. It is an image award. It's based on your image, what you do for the community, what you do for people your age, for your peers, for the young people. It's about your positivity. And for someone to say that you did a great album is wonderful. And it's an honor because that's what we're here to make music. But for someone to tell you that you have a wonderful image is even more wonderful. Because it says something about you as a person.
I wasn't paying attention when the Grammys were on, but you girls had 2 nominations, right?
Yeah. Well, actually,
why weren't you paying attention?
I was probably having a holiday or something.
You were
watching television all the time. Come on.
Okay.
You can't ask us that question because you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, I asked you because I didn't see it actually.
I'm just playing.
No, we.
So who took the other 3?
Some guy took. I was nominated for Writing Independent Woman.
Right.
Some older legend guy took mine.
You two took
I personally think that she should have got the award.
But that's
think so too.
Because you know why?
It's an honor.
One day I will. And I'm only 19. So when I'm his age and I write as many hits as him, then maybe I'll win one. I'm just starting out.
You girls are really young, right? And it's a tough world, you already told me. You can't walk the streets because you're so famous. How does it affect your life when you become famous like you girls?
Right now it's scary. And actually 2 nights ago, I thought about it and I cried because I got scared. No, I'm serious. I called my mom and I was like, Mama, I'm scared.
I'm quitting.
I didn't say that, but it gets scary because people, you can't be mean to people, but then it's scary because then you might have a crazy person come up to you and try to cut your hair or shoot you because they like you so much.
I want your hair, I love you.
Or cut your finger off.
And you have paparazzi taking pictures of you everywhere. And it's weird because sometimes, because we're so normal, we forget and we don't look at ourselves like other people look at us because we just us. And when people scream and faint and all that, it's just strange. But it's an honor. And we meet a lot of special people.
Are you guys proud actually of what you accomplished?
Definitely.
Very proud.
Today we found out that we're actually double platinum. She's just tired.
Oh.
Sorry. Today we found out that we're double platinum here in Holland and that Independent Woman is actually gold here. So we want to thank everybody out there for making that happen. Thank you.
Hey, there's an Independent Woman Part 2 on the album. What's that like?
It's harder.
It was actually really good to us, but if people all over the world would like to listen to it, we had to soften it up a little bit.
It's really hard.
It's real cool. But it's kind of harsh because when I wrote this song,
You were mad at a
I
guy.
was mad at a guy. I was very mad. And it was like 2 years.
What did he do? What did he do?
I can't tell you. I was mad. So I was like, I don't need you. I'm independent. And I actually I didn't think that the song should be on the album because it doesn't fit because it talks about a guy. But it really doesn't talk about a guy. It just talks about self-esteem. But it's more like girl power than the original, than part one.
You girls have a lot of experiences with men, because that's another question actually, because you talk so wise about having relationships.
Right now we're single and we would like to have more experiences with guys.
Yes.
So where can we hook up? You have an internet address we can visit?
A what?
A website, yes you do.
Oh.
You can send us some nice fan letters and pictures.
You read them?
Yes we do. I two-wayed one of our fans just a couple months ago, and we have called lots of our fans on the telephone, even though they don't believe it.
And we get inspired
Until
by
we
fan
read them their fan letter, they don't believe it's us. But
You were inspired by
I was inspired by a fan letter. The story of Beauty is about a young girl who got molested by her stepfather, and she wrote Destiny's Child a fan letter and said that we really helped her during her tough time and made her feel like she could survive and still, live.
Oh, the rain is getting harder.
And it inspired me to write a song for Destiny's Child because it's a lot of people that's been through that. And I want them to know that they're still beautiful and it's not their fault and they can still live their life and they can still feel proud of themselves and hold their head up high. And we definitely appreciate fan letters, especially ones like that, because they make us feel good about what we're doing. It's way deeper than music when you're changing people's lives.
Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to the album.
Thank you.
The title track, Survivor, became an anthem for resilience and determination, reflecting the group's own journey through lineup changes and industry challenges. Other hits from the album like Bootylicious and Independent Women Part 1 further cemented their status as one of the leading girl groups of the time. Destiny's Child was more than just a launchpad for Beyoncé's solo career. It was a testament to the power of female collaboration and friendship. Despite the pressures of fame and the inevitable rumors of rivalry, Beyoncé, Kelly, and Michelle remained supportive of each other, both during their time as a group and in their subsequent solo careers. In 2005, Destiny's Child announced their disbandment. Their final studio album, Destiny Fulfilled, was a fitting farewell, filled with songs that showcased their growth as artists and as women. But while Destiny's Child was coming to an end, Beyoncé's journey was far from over. Beyoncé's time with Destiny's Child was a crucial period in her career. It was during these years that she honed her skills as a singer, performer, and songwriter.
Thank you.
It must be supremely exciting to be goddess of the television pay-per-view land.
It is. I'm very, very excited. It's my first time doing all of these songs off of my first solo album, so it'll be a whole new experience for me. And I know I'm going to be nervous, but anxious and excited, and I can't wait for everyone to hear my new music and see me perform for the first time by myself.
Now, what is in store for audiences? I mean, are we going to see a whole new side of you that we've not seen before?
Is it okay?
It was pretty bad, but now it's okay.
Okay.
I'll ask it again later.
Okay.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, it just started.
Let me close this door. I'm going to close this door here.
It's starting and stopping.
How do you think the G8 summit will affect the NASDAQ?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I think choosing Evian as the current site for the G8 summit is interesting, considering it's French water that people are having to drink. And given the current political climate, it's dubious. You're like, sure. Just keep talking, ginseng girl. That's true. That is true. Naive, comme moi. Thank you kindly.
What's naive spelled backwards?
Evian.
Oh.
Oh yeah. And you can't spell cheap without AP. I'd never slight my own company. Never! Sorry. Got verbal diarrhea this morning. Totally. You'll probably see me around 2 o'clock and be like,
You remind me of Mike Myers.
Okay, we're ready.
I'm so jealous of your experience, and that must have been a hoot and a holler.
It was. I feel like I'm back on the set.
Thank you kindly.
Settle, gentlemen? Yeah.
Okay, Gerald Ford, an innovator pretty much in the planet for getting automobiles out. Beyoncé Knowles, following in the footsteps with Ford.
Yes.
What are you bringing to the music world?
Well, I write all my own songs. I produce all of my own songs. And I have grown so much between the last Destiny's Child album and my first solo album. And basically, I wanted people to experience that and to hear that. I've grown as an artist, as a writer, and vocally, and as a girl to a young lady. So my album kind of represents the evolution of a woman. And as far as my live shows, I don't think people have ever seen the show that I'm going to do for Ford. I really took a lot of time, and I really took a lot of time to rehearse properly. We usually have like 2 days, but I wanted to really get every small little detail right. And I'm very involved in everything, all aspects, from the choreography to the costumes to the songs that I'm doing, everything. So I'm excited because I think people are going to get a better feel of me. And I don't think they've ever seen anything like this from me.
What lies in wait for us? Can you give us some glimmers? I mean, people, if you want them to call up and get this on their TV, what's going to be in store? I mean, they'll call for boxing, they'll call for porno. Why should they call in for this?
Well, it's historical. It's my first performance. And it's the reunion of Destiny's Child. We haven't performed together in a while, so we have to get our little DC outfits back on and kick out those stilettos and do those songs again. And my show is like a mixture of all of my influences. Chicago, Michael Jackson meets urban chic. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm doing a lot of great choreography. My new dancers are featured, and new songs, new music. My album comes out June 24th, and this will be the first time you can hear songs off of my album.
It sounds like it's giving you like this whole new lease on life. You've taken out a new contract, and you seem so excited about it.
I am. I'm anxious.
Well, have you discovered new parts of yourself since you've gone solo? I mean, obviously, there are great things that happen with Destiny's Child, but this, it seems like you're like...
Yeah, I have. I was really nervous the first performance I did by myself because obviously I've been with them since I was 9, and I'm so used to them and I love them so much. It just was really hard for me. But it seems like that feeling almost made me a lot more dynamic on the stage. That nervousness kind of, I don't know what happens. It's always happened, but it's even more now. And as far as the show is really theatrical, and the dancing is incredible, and I've never gotten a chance to do that before. So, and I'm singing some really beautiful ballads, and I don't really get a chance to do that either. So it's a lot of different new eclectic sounds and great things going on.
So this is, I mean, you're an event. This is going to be...
This is definitely an event for me. It's definitely an event for me. And I'm sure for all of Destiny's Child fans and all of my fans. And I know people have been really shocked and surprised, the video I did and the performances, and this is just even better because I've gotten some time to rehearse. And like I said, I've never gotten that opportunity, so it's great.
Is it better to be bootylicious?
Is it better to be bootylicious? You know, the definition of bootylicious basically is someone that's confident and that loves themselves, and that energy shines through. So it is good to be bootylicious. And I actually wrote that song to celebrate bodies, women's bodies, because everyone has this body image that they think everyone should look like, and everyone doesn't. And I think it's beautiful to be however you are, and that's what the song talks about.
Which is fantastic.
Thank you.
Not to mention you're a supreme babe anyhow.
Oh, thank you.
Which is delightful. How do you, I mean, you've been in the spotlight since you were practically born. How do you contend with sort of, I mean, your romance is on the papers, your whatever, your affairs are littered all over the magazines. to what extent do you have to just sort of shunt it to the wayside?
Actually, people have been respectful. Thank God I haven't had too many. I don't want to speak too soon, so. But it hasn't been just unbearable and crazy for me. I have been in the spotlight for a while, 7 years now. I'm only 21, so that's a lot of my life. So I've gotten used to it. It's not crazy for me. It's some moments I'm like, oh God, could I just walk somewhere without people looking at me, or, you know. But I've gotten used to it, and it's not crazy, and I'm able to deal with it. And it's certain things that I just don't talk about because I think that's the way to keep me sane, and I still have a piece of me that's private, and that keeps me stable and level, and I'm happy.
And also, an enormous amount of your time must be devoted to working. I mean, what the amount of work that must have gone into this project?
A lot of work. I actually started preparing before I finished my album. I wanted to take some ballet and jazz classes because I knew I was going to have this performance, and it ended up being this one. So I started taking ballet for a couple weeks, and just to get my technique down, and then I started rehearsing. And every day I have off, I'm calling up Frank, choreography, Lavelle, all of the dancers, and I'm like, let's book a studio and go over the songs, you know. I'm going with the band today after I finished the millions of interviews. I just love to be prepared and to experiment. It doesn't feel like work for me. When I'm in the studio and when I'm performing, that's what I live for. I love it. And I could just do that for the rest of my life, and hopefully I'm gonna be doing it for the rest of my life.
So it seems like the more you do it, the more it sort of energizes you to keep on going.
Yeah, because you discover new things about yourself on the stage, you know, and you just, I always like to better whatever I just did, and, you know, I always try to challenge myself. And if I did one routine good, or if I hit just one note for however long, I try to do it twice as long the next time.
Do you think are there any dance moves or, I don't know, costumes or moments in the show that audiences are just going to, mouths will be agape?
Well, there's quite a few. I know we took a lot of influences from Chicago, and the costumes are incredible. We have this hula hoop routine, which is so cute and so different. In Work It Out video, that's the song I did for Austin Power soundtrack, I had this hula hoop. So we're doing that live, so I have to make sure I'm right. And I can hula hoop for a long time, for however long I want, but it'll be just my luck that night. Something will happen, but that's a little scary. It's a lot of things. I don't want to give it away so much, but the lighting is incredible, and it's a huge production, but in a different way. It's not a traditional pop R&B, whatever you want to call it, way. It's more of the theatrical way. The lighting and is a minimal amount of props, but the way that we have everything staged, and we're using mirrors and different cool little effects. So it's really artistic and different.
And for those who don't know the single for your new album, what's going to be different from, what's Beyoncé Knowles? What's the sound?
My new single is called Crazy in Love, and it sounds like Washington Go-Go, which is something really current now in the streets. But it also has an element of old school, live horns. And I think the beauty of the song is the mixture of something really current and something really old, and it sounds like something really different from anything else on the radio. I was actually very nervous because I wasn't sure if people were going to understand it. Sometimes when you take that risk, it doesn't work out for you, but it did, thank God. The whole album is like that. I really expressed myself, and it's really personal, and it's like a journal, and it's about love and relationships. If I didn't experience it, I did through my friends and family. And if you want to know how it feels to be in love, or if you're in love, or if you used to be in love, you should get dangerously in love. And during the performance, I performed the song, so it just is a good feeling. It's a party, but it's so many different types of songs that lead into each other. It's almost like a Broadway play.
Awesome. Yeah. And from what I understand, love makes the world go round.
Love makes the world go round. That's why I chose that topic, because it never goes out of style. It's always love in the world.
Yeah. Cool. Love and crayons.
Love and
permanent
crayons.
pleasure. Okay, and finally, if people they're going to sign on for this event, and they're going to, you will be live, televised around the planet. Is much going to be going through your head? I mean, are you, like, what about the 10 minutes before?
I'm sure I'll be terrified. I'll be going over everything, like, backstage, trying to do extra rehearsals. But I'll be anxious. Hopefully I'll remember all the words and all the steps and all of my placement. And we have a lot of great opening acts. My sister is performing, and Kelly's doing some of her songs, Michelle, and Tyrese, and Jay-Z's performing with me, and Jewel. It's not confirmed, but I hope so, and Destiny's Child. So I'll have a couple acts to warm up the stage for me, and hopefully by the time I get on the stage, the crowd will be warmed up, and I'll be warmed up, and I won't be, it'll be my moment that I've been waiting for.
It'll be the complete pleasure package.
Yes.
It'll be great.
It was where she learned to command a stage, to captivate an audience, and to create music that resonates with people all over the world. The lessons she learned and the experiences she gained as a member of Destiny's Child laid the groundwork for the solo career that was to come. Destiny's Child was just the beginning for Beyoncé. As the group disbanded, Beyoncé was poised to step into the spotlight on her own terms, ready to make her mark as a solo artist and continue her journey to becoming one of the most influential figures in music history. Following the hiatus of Destiny's Child, Beyoncé embarked on a solo career, releasing her debut album, Dangerously in Love, in 2003. This marked a pivotal moment in her career, where she transitioned from being a part of a group to standing alone in the spotlight. That leap of faith wasn't without its rewards. The album skyrocketed to success, solidifying Beyoncé's position as a musical powerhouse. Dangerously in Love was a sensational debut, producing chart-topping hits like Crazy in Love and Baby Boy. These tracks, with their infectious rhythms and Beyoncé's powerful vocals, resonated with listeners worldwide. The album was a commercial success, earning 5 Grammy Awards and selling millions of copies globally. But Beyoncé was only getting started. In 2006, she released her second studio album, Bidet, commemorating her 25th birthday. The album was an ode to her Texan roots and her coming of age. It gave us hits like Irreplaceable and Check on It, songs that became anthems for the empowered and the heartbroken alike. 2 years later, Beyoncé introduced us to her alter ego, Sasha Fierce, with her album, I Am Sasha Fierce. This dual-disc album explored the dichotomy of her onstage persona versus her offstage self. It was a risky move, but it paid off, with the album selling over 8 million copies worldwide. It was during this era that Beyoncé gifted us Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, a feminist anthem that took the world by storm. In 2011, she released 4, an album that showcased her evolution as an artist. It was a departure from her previous pop-oriented sound, leaning more towards traditional R&B. The album delivered hits like Love on Top and Run the World Girls, reinforcing Beyoncé's status as a global icon. Throughout these albums, Beyoncé has consistently demonstrated her versatility and artistic growth. She has been unafraid to experiment with different styles and genres, constantly pushing the boundaries of what is expected of a pop artist. From upbeat dance tracks to heartfelt ballads, her music has spanned a wide range of emotions and experiences, all while maintaining her unique sound and voice. Her lyrics frequently touch on themes of love, empowerment, and personal growth. They resonate deeply with her listeners, allowing them to see a piece of themselves in her music. This connection has been crucial to her success as a solo artist, helping her build a loyal and dedicated fan base. But her success isn't just measured in album sales and chart positions. Beyoncé has also garnered critical acclaim for her work, earning numerous awards and accolades. Her music has not only entertained but also inspired and empowered, leaving an indelible mark on the industry and the world. With her solo career, Beyoncé proved that she was a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. She has shown that she is not just a singer, but an artist, a performer, and a storyteller. And she's done it all on her own terms, carving out a path that is distinctly her own. Beyoncé's journey as a solo artist is a testament to her talent, her resilience, and her unwavering dedication to her craft. Truly, a solo star was born. In 2013, Beyoncé took control of her career in a big way, creating her own management company, Parkwood Entertainment. In a bold move, she chose to step away from traditional management and take the reins herself, a decision that would prove to be a turning point in her career. Parkwood Entertainment, named after the street she grew up on, became the powerhouse behind her subsequent projects. Beyoncé's shift in artistic direction became evident with the release of her self-titled visual album in December of that year. Defying the norms of the music industry, she dropped the album unannounced, a surprise that sent shockwaves around the globe. The album was not just a collection of songs, but a fully realized audiovisual project, a cinematic feast that wove together music, performance, and visuals into a cohesive narrative. Beyoncé wasn't just a commercial success, it was an artistic statement. It was a deep exploration of feminism, self-identity, and sexuality. Tracks like Pretty Hurts and Flawless challenged societal beauty standards, while Partition celebrated feminine sensuality. The album was a testament to Beyoncé's evolving artistry and her desire to push the boundaries of what a pop album could be. 3 years later, Beyoncé once again revolutionized the music industry with Lemonade. The visual album was a raw and personal journey through betrayal, heartbreak, resilience, and redemption, set against the backdrop of the African American experience. Societal themes were interwoven in the fabric of the album, from the exploration of womanism in Don't Hurt Yourself to the powerful statement on police brutality in Formation. Lemonade was more than just an album, it was a cultural phenomenon. It sparked conversations about race, gender, and identity, and solidified Beyoncé's position as not just a music icon, but a force of change. Commercially, Lemonade was a triumph, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200, and its lead single, Formation, topped charts worldwide. The creation of Parkwood Entertainment and the release of her visual albums marked a significant turning point in Beyoncé's career. It was a period of artistic growth and experimentation, a time when she began to use her music as a platform to address societal issues and challenge the status quo. With Parkwood Entertainment, she took control of her narrative, and with her visual albums, she redefined what it meant to be an artist in the 21st century. Beyoncé's visual albums showed that she wasn't afraid to push boundaries and explore new ways of expressing herself through music. They were a testament to her evolving artistry, her courage, and her commitment to creating music that doesn't just entertain, but also enlightens and inspires. They solidified her position as a trailblazer, an artist unafraid to break the mold and redefine the rules. And they showed the world that Beyoncé, the woman, the artist, the icon, was here to stay.
So Beyoncé, we're going to show you, I just saw this a few minutes ago. This is never before seen footage of you at some age, because we're talking about when you started singing. Take a look at this and tell me how old you were.
She thinks she's bad. Babe, don't make me mad.
We get ready to go to Michael Jackson concert.
Oh yeah, you going to a Michael Jackson concert?
Yeah.
All right.
How old are you there?
I must have been about, what, 6 or 7 or 5 or something like that.
So you started just all of a sudden that talent just came out of you and your mother said, oh my God, you're going to be a big star?
Well, I always loved to perform. I always loved Michael Jackson and dancing to his songs, and I loved having a mic in my hand and performing in front of an audience.
And who first, did you just sing to people and people said, oh my God, you can sing, and you just started?
No, I was really shy. My mother put me and my sister in dance classes, and my dance teacher, her name was Miss Darlette. She was like, baby, sing for me. I heard you over there singing to the track, sing for me. And I did, and she was like, you can really sing. And she told me to perform at a talent show, and I started performing. I fell in love with the stage.
She told you to do it, and that you all of a sudden went, well, that lady said I could sing?
Well, yeah, my parents were in the audience. They had never saw me perform before. And I was...
So you owe a lot to that lady that actually got you started.
Yeah, I do, actually.
Come on out. Now, how smart are you to all of a sudden spot this? Had you ever had you ever seen anything like that? I mean, I just see that video and
I knew from little bitty she would be a star. I always told her. I knew it.
Pretty smart lady. Pretty smart lady. I mean, you must be following this going, I said it.
But she worked very hard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why she's going to retire at 30. She's tired. Yeah, no, this is pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I can't believe she's here.
She's here. And now, so you discovered her how? What were you doing?
Well, she was at the studio, and she was the last one, and her parents always come together to pick her up, and I was just kind of sweeping around, and I was singing, and of course I can't sing.
So then, and you hear her.
And I was singing a song out of tune, and Beyonce finished the song for me, and she hit a note. And I said, sing it again. And now I remind you, she was a very shy girl.
And how old was this?
She was about maybe 6 or 7.
Uh-huh.
And she sung it, and when her parents came to pick her up, I said, she can sing, you know she can sing? I'm like, yeah, you know, she sings around the house. I said, no, she can sing. She really can sing. And they convinced me to let me put her in some singing competitions and dance competitions. And it's been history since.
Yeah, well, it certainly has. I mean, have you heard anybody? Now do you kind of look for people to, are you trying to spot somebody now?
I'm trying so hard.
Yeah. And then you sign them and manage them. That's what you should do. Yeah, you should be. Well, now, what
but
should...
there's only one Beyonce.
There's a, well, yeah, that's the truth. She's a triple threat, as they say. So what should, I'm sure a lot of parents go, my kid sings, but you know, what do you think was special about her that you said, well, no, but she sings?
Now, remind you, when her parents enrolled her, they enrolled her for dance classes. It had nothing to do with singing. She was out of a dance studio.
Right.
But I knew from when I heard that child sing, and then when I saw her on stage for the first time, I knew it, without a doubt, she was going to be a star.
Yeah.
And it's just something
well, you can
feel
see that in the
think.
video, that she's so special. You have that, like, that's adorable. That's adorable. You got to be looking at that going, yeah, I was something. Right?
It's kind of embarrassing, actually.
No, but think about it. You and Jay-Z, when you have little babies, y'all gonna have some cute, special little babies.
Oh, God.
Right? How many babies will you and Jay-Z have, do you think?
She is hilarious. I want maybe 2 children.
92? What did you say? Maybe two.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think you should have more than that because they're all going to be very, very talented, right?
I hope so.
No, they will be. They'll be gorgeous and talented little moguls.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's great. I love that you and Jay-Z will have 2 kids.
She is the best.
Yeah. I mean, Jay-Z's got to be so proud. When are you due? I mean, you're not showing at all, so it must be, you're just now, is this the first time you're announcing it?
Help me, please.
Wonderful. So Jay-Z, Beyonce, getting married, having children.
20
It's
years.
good to hear it here. All right, let's bring out your birthday cake and celebrate your birthday, and I'm so glad you celebrated with us.
Thank you. Is that red velvet?
I hope it's. I love red velvet cake. That's my favorite too.
Is it?
I love red.
I love it too.
Day to you. Happy birthday, dear Beyonce. Happy birthday to you. Beyonce sings after this. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Beyonce again.
Beyonce's music career isn't just about her solo work. She's also known for her collaborations and live performances. In fact, her collaborations are an essential part of her musical journey, as they highlight her versatility and willingness to push boundaries. One of her most significant collaborations is with her husband, Jay-Z. Together, as the Carters, they released the album Everything Is Love in 2018. This album is an exquisite blend of their individual styles, creating a musical experience that is uniquely their own. It's more than just a collection of songs, it's a testament to their shared journey, their love, and their resilience. Yet Beyoncé's collaborative ventures extend beyond music. In 2020, she took on a new challenge with the release of the musical film Black is King. inspired by the music of the film soundtrack The Lion King: The Gift. Black is King is a visual feast that takes viewers on a journey of African heritage, self-discovery, and empowerment. This project proves that Beyoncé isn't just a singer or a performer, she's an artist in the truest sense of the word. But let's not forget about her live performances. Beyoncé is known for her electrifying stage presence, and her 2018 Coachella performance is a prime example of just how mesmerizing she can be. Dubbed as Beychella, this performance was more than just a concert. It was a celebration of Black culture and music, and a testament to Beyoncé's ability to captivate audiences around the world. Beychella wasn't just a show, it was a historical event. Beyoncé was the first Black woman to headline the festival, and she made sure to make it count. She delivered a performance that was energetic, powerful, and deeply personal. She took the audience on a journey through her career, from her Destiny's Child days to her solo accomplishments, all while paying tribute to the rich history of Black music.
Album to rewrite your place in music history. What do you want to rewrite?
Well, I feel like this album is all about the music. I was really inspired by Africa and Fela Kuti and jazz, and I kind of mixed everything together and came up with my own little genre. I felt like more heart and soul and real lyrics and stories should be brought back into popular music. I just want to make music that makes people feel.
Progression as an artist is the most important thing for me. That is what success is for me. I always want to challenge myself. I always want to have that nervous ball in my stomach before I go on the stage. That's how I know I'm doing the right job.
Beyoncé finds inspiration in unexpected places, like this dance routine from Africa. And you introduce yourself.
They have no idea who I am.
It's incredible.
It's so great. Four definitely is the title because it's my fourth album. Also because it's my favorite number. I've won a lot of money with the number 4 when I'm gambling, which I don't do often, but it's just a really lucky number for me. And since this is the most personal album, I figured it was time to name it my favorite number. I was a bit numb. I'm doing the same thing. It became just, a ritual. Because the world is so much bigger than people screaming your name, and that becomes almost like a fake world, and you have to make sure you remember that that's all great, but that's not who you really are. Taking time off was probably the best year of my life.
What was the most fun you had?
The simple things like, driving and picking my nephew up from school. Having great conversations with people on the plane.
Really?
Yeah.
You're on some plane and you start talking to some random person?
Yes, and you know what? It's great when people really don't know who you are. And it's funny because people sometimes say, I'm sorry, I'm just realizing I didn't know. And I'm like, that's why the conversation was so great.
You took a year off.
I did.
And you just did fun stuff.
I did whatever I loved, and I was inspired by so many different travels and types of music that I was exposed to, going to watch my sister DJ and, going to some of the festivals and watching my husband perform. I did. I went on tour with him, and I got to see the shows from the audience, which is something that I don't get a chance to do. I was really, really inspired.
Did you become a Jay-Z groupie?
I always been Jay-Z groupie.
It's so nice of you to come all this way to London so that I could interview you in my own backyard.
Yes.
And the fact you had Glastonbury last night
had nothing to do with
a coincidence.
It. Yes.
Glastonbury is a lifelong dream.
It's the mud, it's all of the beautiful people. Everyone is...
Well, a lot of them are quite ugly, actually.
No, I love it. It's not about fashion, it's not about trying to be cool. Everyone just is cool.
I'm sure it'll be one of those memories that I'll take with me to my grave.
Love is the foundation of everything I do. It's inspired. My music is inspired by love, and from my family, from my husband, from my sisters, and it gives me the security and the confidence that you see on the stage.
It's beautiful because we're family, and because it's more than just a clothing line. It's a part of our life.
From
From the start, Beyoncé Knowles was destined for stardom. As a child, she was belting out songs in her parents' living room. At 30, she's one of the best-selling singers of all time.
I know me, I was born to do what I do. It's just too natural. There's certain things that I know no one taught me. No one can teach you. It's just, you are.
A voice that was always going to be heard, and a big dream. Off to a concert that would change everything.
Oh yeah, you going to the Michael Jackson concert?
Yeah. Was he an inspiration?
Beyond, how old was I? 5 years old. It was my first concert and it was his show. And that night I decided exactly my purpose.
Michael, we can see your halo. I pray you won't fade away.
He's the reason I do what I do, because I would have never experienced that magic if it wasn't for him.
She's taking control of her own destiny and is starting by opening her own production company.
I'm Beyoncé and I'm the president.
These are your new digs?
Yes, definitely. This is the Parkwood Group.
Wow.
This is my company.
In addition to starring in the concert film, she's director and producer as well. You actually have been editing yourself, right?
Yeah, well, I learned how to edit for the last DVD, Final Cut Pro, and I make all my selects and I sit in the same chair.
Listen to you, I make all my selects.
I grew up around all women. I believe that we teach each other so much and can learn from each other so much. I'm always thinking about women.
I don't like the phrase girl power, but it was about empowerment of women.
Yes.
You were like strutting around that stage, making men like me feeling pretty useless at home. Thinking, I have no right to even be near this woman.
Not at all.
I mean, quite intimidating, this kind of thing you do.
No, but I definitely feel that it is my job to empower women.
I think about saying the things that women want to say and maybe not really feel confident in saying, like, put a ring on it. You know, that's a nice little way to hint something without being the psycho that's like, marry me! When I traveled around the world, I could see how important independent woman was. And I could see how much strength it gave women when they were able to sing Irreplaceable. I had women coming up to me saying, you know, I have to sneak to listen to your music, but it makes me feel strong, and now I'm saving up my money and I'm moving away from here, and you know, it makes me feel like my purpose is so much deeper. So I'm gonna continue to write those songs that give women strength.
Pulse. The bottle looks amazing. It smells amazing.
We worked for a year on this fragrance.
And how involved are you with that process?
I'm very involved, and now my nose, I smell everything.
Really?
Yes.
So you're with vanilla leaves and citrus and...
Yes.
You have your own perfume, which I wear every day. Beyoncé Pulse. Yeah, I put this on every morning.
You're 29 years old.
Yes.
And in September, the looming, dooming big 3-0 is emerging in your life. You're pretending to be very, very thrilled about this.
No,
are you?
I am absolutely serious. It actually is mind-boggling to me that people get scared or frightened or, oh my God, I'm so old. You're 30. Are you serious? It's ridiculous.
It's really exciting, this point in my life. I'm turning 30 years old and I feel like I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to do whatever inspires me.
I can't wait to grow older and wiser and be more comfortable in my skin. But 30 is like the best age you can ever be. You're a woman, but you're still young.
You see, when I hear you speak like this, in this mature, sensible, rational way...
It's the truth.
Yeah, but it's beginning to sound a bit like your mother, which makes me think
no.
You're now heading to the right kind of time in your life.
I'm turning into my mom.
No, I didn't mean that.
You're trying to say I need to have a baby.
When you were younger, you said, when I get to be 30, I want to have babies.
I was 15.
Can we expect the little patter of little Beyoncé and Jay-Z's?
You know, only God knows. When it happens, it happens. One day.
And now, Beyoncé is about to become a mum.
Twitter went nuts.
Yes.
The biggest Twitter ever.
I heard. It's
true.
It's crazy.
I don't even tweet.
It's the most empowering thing I've ever experienced in my life. I feel so fortunate, and I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Really?
Yes. There's nothing more swag.
She's mom on the due date and the sex of the baby. Before we go, should I get you a pink baby present or a blue baby present?
Well, Rumi, can I teach you a trick? You got to turn it to the side. Yeah, there we go. That's how you do it.
Hi, Mommy. So, do you like the show?
I don't know what you're waiting for. Cuff it.
Today ain't the day.
Okay. Cause I'm in the mood to be deep in love.
How do we fix this? Because this is a very big problem.
I got this drink in my cup.
Woo, I'm out of breath. We just need to simplify. Time is my biggest obstacle. It's impossible to not realize how fast it's going when you are looking through the eyes of your children. I think about all of my heroes and all that they endured. I know that all of my struggle and sacrifice is opening the door for the next. They are the new beginning.
I wanna house you and make it take my name. I'm gonna spouse you and make it touch a ring. I'm gonna
I have nothing to prove to anyone at this point.
baby, can I take you?
We are creating our own world. This is my reward. Nobody can take that away from me. Thank God you recorded. We're gonna leave what I just did.
This performance was so iconic that it was turned into Homecoming the Live album, which chronicles her Coachella performance. This album has been heralded as one of the best live albums of all time, praised for its wide-reaching curation from many eras of Black musical history. It's a testament to Beyoncé's ability to not just perform, but to create experiences that resonate with people long after the show is over. So, whether she's collaborating with other artists, exploring new mediums, or delivering show-stopping performances, Beyoncé continues to push boundaries and redefine what it means to be an artist. She's not just creating music, she's creating moments, experiences, and memories that will last a lifetime. Whether she's working with others or performing live, Beyoncé always brings her unique style and energy to the stage. With over 200 million records sold worldwide, Beyoncé has cemented her place as one of the best-selling music artists of all time. But the journey doesn't stop at the numbers. The accolades and recognition she's acquired throughout her career speak volumes about her impact on the music industry and beyond. Beyoncé's talent has been recognized by the most prestigious award bodies in the music industry, with an impressive 32 Grammy Awards to her name. This makes her the artist with the most Grammys won in history. A true testament to her musical prowess and consistent ability to create pieces of work that resonate deeply with audiences worldwide. And it doesn't stop there. With 26 MTV Video Music Awards, including the 2014 Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award, Beyoncé's creative vision and boundary-pushing music videos have also been widely celebrated. Her visuals not only entertain but spark conversations about societal issues, making her an artist that goes beyond the music. The Recording Industry Association of America recognized her success during the 2000s, naming her the top certified artist of the decade. A decade that saw her transition from a beloved girl group member to a solo star, proving that her talent could stand alone and shine even brighter. Billboard also acknowledged her impact, naming her the top female artist of the decade. A title that speaks volumes about her influence not only in the music sphere, but as a symbol of empowerment for women around the globe. In 2014, Billboard named her the highest-earning Black musician of all time, a monumental achievement that highlights her financial success and the commercial impact of her music. Beyoncé's success, however, extends beyond her own personal achievements. As the most successful Black touring act in history and recipient of the Pollstar Touring Artist of the Decade Award in 2021, her influence has paved the way for other Black artists to follow in her footsteps. Her accolades also extend to other spheres with numerous NAACP Image Awards, BET Awards, and Soul Train Music Awards, all of which are more than any other artist in the music industry. These acknowledgments reflect her broad appeal and her ability to resonate with diverse audiences, cementing her position as a global icon. Time magazine included her as one of the 100 women who defined the 21st century, a nod to her influence that extends far beyond music. Beyoncé's impact on popular culture, her advocacy for women's rights, and her philanthropic efforts make her more than just an artist. She is a leader, a trailblazer, and an icon in every sense of the word. Beyoncé's impact on the music industry is undeniable, and her legacy will certainly continue to inspire future generations. Through her music, her visual artistry, and her advocacy, she has created a blueprint for success that will be studied and admired for years to come. Beyoncé is not just a star, she is a legacy in the making. From her early life in Texas to her rise to global stardom, Beyoncé's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. Born into a family with a rich musical heritage, she was destined for greatness. Her talent shone brightly from a young age, and it wasn't long before she found fame as part of the iconic R&B girl group, Destiny's Child. As a solo artist, she took the world by storm. Her debut album, Dangerously in Love, was just the beginning of a highly successful solo career. With each subsequent album, from Bidet to Renaissance, Beyoncé proved her ability to innovate and push boundaries in the music industry. Her creative prowess didn't stop at music. She ventured into the world of visual albums with Beyoncé and Lemonade, offering her fans a unique and immersive experience. These albums tackled important societal themes, further cementing her status as a cultural icon. Beyoncé's collaborations like Everything is Love with Jay-Z and Black is King, a musical film inspired by The Lion King: The Gift, showcased her versatility as an artist. Her Coachella performance, immortalized in Homecoming: The Live album, is a testament to her power as a live performer. Her accolades are a reflection of her tremendous talent and hard work. With over 200 million records sold worldwide and a record-breaking number of awards, Beyoncé has truly earned her place in the annals of music history. She stands as one of the most influential artists of the 21st century, her music and impact transcending boundaries. But above all, Beyoncé's journey is a story of perseverance, creativity, and the power of believing in oneself. It's a story of a girl from Texas who dared to dream big and worked tirelessly to turn those dreams into reality. As we look back on her career so far, one thing is clear. Beyoncé is a true queen of the music industry, and we can't wait to see where her journey takes her next.
I close my eyes and travel through realms of space and time. Reality holds no power or control of my state of mind on my voyage to find a source to charge my inner being. Assembly line frequency as I tap my MPC. Welcome to
In this world that is very male-dominated, I've had to be really tough to balance motherhood and being on this stage. It just reminds me of who I really am.
I think y'all can give me more. I think a little more. Are y'all ready? You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. You are the visual, baby. It's a new birth. I hope you feel liberated, but the Renaissance is not over. Everybody.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, she's so little.
The goal for this tour was to create a place where everyone is free and no one is judged. You're unique.
Stand by for prop lift down.
Dark brown, dark skin, light skin, beige. Start over, start fresh, create the new. That's what the Renaissance is about.
mother's mind.
That's what you are.
We dress a certain way, we walk a certain way, we talk a certain way, we paint a certain way, we make love a certain way.
At any point, they could close their eyes and be right back there and take it with them. I have transitioned into a new animal.
All of these things we do.
Keep on waiting like Chicago, ATL, NYC, Motor City, opulence, house, these gritty beats. They looped, I looped, the sample to feel free with soundscape memories. Scratch, the needle jack my body, fades and right to the streams. Loop the sample. Liberty, come with me through my portal, my insanity, where I am.
Such a heathen, why did let me outside? Oh, leave me. Bring the pig in. Now I can breathe again. My feet beating down the block, knocking Basquiat's off the wall. Oh, that's how I fall. Cleanse me of my sins, my un-American life.
Do I even need to say sorry for being who I am? Look at me. This is me. No right way, no wrong way. It is only one way. That is the Renaissance way. This is a reminder.
Dancing in the mirror, kiss my skies because I love what they make.